we said that we would give an update on Conor's boots every Sunday.
And you already asked me what I did to him.
Yeah.
I sat down and he goes, "What did you do?" I don't know.
They're a little dark on the sides. I think you walk on the sides of your feet. Now, we were talking about your boots. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Conor went hog hunting in his boots. And he got blood and guts all over it.
Yeah.
And I got a text message that says, "How do I clean these things?" And I said, "Bring them here." And so, what do you guys think? Should we do a video on this, on how to clean these? Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. I'm here with Justin from the Fenoglio store in the Fort Worth Stockyards. If you haven't seen it, we did a podcast with him at the Stockyard showroom, right?
Yep.
And it was really good. We spent a couple of hours there and we talked boots. And Conor got this pair of boots. Now, when Conor got these, he said, "I'm gonna mess these up."
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, he's done a pretty good job messing them up.
Yeah.
On our last podcast, we talked about Conor's boots, and Justin shot me an email and said, we can fix this.
Yeah.
So he's here today to tell us how to fix these boots. We also have a pair of Conor's ostrich, what are these, AB horsepowers? And he's kind of torn these up a little bit. You know, he's got some water stains on them in some places here, especially on the inside there. We're gonna see if we can fix these too. Now, personally, I have a pair of boot trees for every pair of boots I have. And Conor gives zero.
Yeah.
But what do you feel about boot trees? Do you recommend those for
If you're an avid collector and you have a large collection and they're going to be sitting in the closet, if you have a high rotation to where your boots aren't getting put on every single day, then I recommend boot trees because it retains the kind of the leather shape of your foot, but it also, long storage period, lifetimes, that's an awesome product.
So I have several pair of boots from the 1980s, a lot of vintage Lucchese, some Nakonas, just some old boots. When I get them, I get some pretty good deals on them on eBay. You can get them, they look like a taco, man. They're all curled up.
Yeah.
You condition them, you throw a boot tree in there, let them sit for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Really, and they're flat again. They look great.
You really kind of bring the life out of them.
Yep.
If it is a product that wasn't under your supervision from out of the box and you don't know what it's gone through, the best thing for it to do without just tearing your feet up completely is to go ahead and put a boot tree in there and give it a drink, is what I call it, is reconditioning, and let them sit. I've seen some, especially reptiles. Yeah. If you weren't wearing them before and they were formed to somebody else's foot, it's going to be a task to try to reform it to your foot. So the best thing to do it is trying to like resetting a hat, where they put it on the block and kind of push down on it. So a boot tree will kind of mimic that, and you letting it sit in there for quite a while.
All right. So let's get Conor in here. Conor, come on over here, bud. Tell me, have you seen a pair of boots look this bad in 2 weeks?
Oh yeah.
100%.
100%. Our clientele is just trying to do the same thing he's doing.
Told you.
All right. So tell me what happened to these boots. What'd you do to these boots?
I just wore them like I said I was going to do. I mean, they're boots.
Yeah.
I mean, I
all right. So you and I have a different opinion of boots. You get boots and you wear them until the wheels fall off them, and then you go on down the road and get another pair of boots. Well, to me, this is an investment. I mean, if you want something that you're going to throw away, spend $80 on a pair of tennis shoes and be done with it, man.
Well, in my defense, the boots I'm buying are subpar and cheap.
Okay.
I'm not buying boots that are worth putting the money in to have resold or refurbished in any way.
Okay. Well, being as this is your first pair of American-made, really high-quality boots, you sent me a text message and you said, "How do I clean these? I got pig blood all over them."
Yeah, they have a little hog blood on them. We went out hog hunting, and as things go, they got some blood and some guts and things and mud.
Well, we got Justin here, and he's going to teach you how to take care of your boots.
Yeah. I'm going to teach you how to refurbish them back to what they used to look like.
I wish you best of luck.
In case we have to go to an event.
Yeah. In case you need to look dressed up.
All right, so where would you start with these?
First, just kind of clean them off as the first step is to kind of clear your canvas in a way before you kind of even add any kind of polishing or trying to refurbish them at all. You just want to kind of start with a clean slate. You see a lot of water spots on them, different different spotting, different and a lot of times when people come in with this kind of stuff, you don't know what it is. We had a guy come in yesterday and he was like, "Hey, I got all this black stuff all over this Havana nubuck. What do I do?" I said, "Well, what is it?" And he goes, "I don't know." So I don't know if it's tar. I had a guy that did black tar roofs for a living, and he got black tar on his black cherry full quill ostrich. And we did what we could, but at the time it was a Lucchese, and we actually ended up pulling off all the black of that black cherry, and it was just kind of became a distressed red. Which honestly, after we were done with it, looked kind of cool. Yeah. But it wasn't what he originally bought, which we turned into another sale because he ended up buying another black cherry.
I've got a pair of black cherry San Antonios from when they were in San Antonio in 1984, 1983, something like that. And they're pretty much red now, and
start off with dark black. Yeah.
I've tried to add some black to them back, but I don't want to mess with them too much.
Well, I can do that. I've done it before, and it's not dyeing; it's just polishing, and it's you want to coat properly. One of the issues I ran into a lot at Lucchese was chipping. Yeah, because they start with like a red, and they did it on the reptile and the ostrich. They started with a red, and then did their own like kind of spray dye inside the factory, and a lot of factories do that. But what ends up happening is if you clip it or chip it or whatever like that, it'll just like a paint chip. It'll clip right off. But if you polish it properly, now does it fix the problem permanently? No, because you're still going to have that chipping and stuff like that. But does it make it look good for that night? Yes. And until you chip it again, then you just brought it back to me. Or I could I had a lot of customers sit there and watch me do it because I was like, hey, this is going to happen again, so you might want to pay attention.
Right.
Well, with that being said, I will step back out of the way. If you need to work,
you make sure you pay attention though.
I'm going to stand where the camera can't see me.
Well, if you have any questions, just holler them out.
Holler them from the peanut gallery.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so where do we start? Actually, you should be up here doing this with Justin, man.
It's your podcast.
This is not a podcast. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use saddle soap on these boots.
Yep.
And this is an oil tan leather.
Yep.
All right. Let's get to it.
Yeah, no problem.
So we're using Saphir saddle soap. That's what I have on hand. And what you basically do is you wet your brush and you work this into a lather.
I need a little more water on that one.
Dump some water in there. That's good. So you work it into a lather, and then you take that and you clean the boot with it, really. I got another can if you need another can.
Maybe a little thick. We'll see.
So Conor did a good job on this.
Yeah, he did what he said he was going to do.
He tried them out.
Man of his word. A lot of people, treat boots either like Cadillacs or like ranch trucks. I got a lot of guys that are, we got to scuff them up day one kind of thing. I've had guys bring them back to me within a week, and I mean, you couldn't recognize the boot.
Well, I think we talked about this on the podcast. Jerry Gazelle was here. He did a podcast with us. He had a new black 100X American hat, and when he got it from Best Hat, he put it back in the box and left with it because he just can't wear a clean hat.
Oh, yeah.
Not in public. He wanted to take it back and use it on the ranch, and then it was good for him.
Yeah, once you get that first scratch, that first dent on them, then they're not nervous about wearing them anymore.
Right.
But you got guys like this that just want to tear them up day one, and then they don't even worry about it. But
let's see. I've got. I'm wearing right now my chocolate Fuji Roughouts from Fenoglio. I wear these. These are my most comfortable everyday daily wear boots. I wear the crap out of them, and I love them. But I have other boots that are for different occasions. If I'm going out, what do you need?
Paper towel.
Oh yeah. So if I'm going out,
perfect.
Wearing a suit, whatever, to an event, I'll wear a different pair of boots. Something a little more dressy, right?
Well, and I tell everybody, the best way to make a pair of boots last is to have a high rotation. But,
well, a lot of people these days, they want to buy that $180 to $250 pair of Ariats.
Yeah.
And, and then.
But they don't clean right either. They're almost disposable.
Yes.
I used to make a joke, and I think I might have said it on our podcast. I don't sell boots that have an expiration date on. That's kind of the idea behind that. I want a boot to last as long as I do. And, taking care of them is a big part of it, but you should be able to use it as a tool. A lot of our customers, this is a tool for them.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's something that they almost have to put their lives into at some point in time. But, it could come down to a life or death experience in some ways, if it binded in the stirrup or anything like that. But a lot of the times when I'm doing this, I like to focus on one. And if I get to a stopping point where, like right now, it looks really, really, really dark. And when we're done with this, it's still going to look dark.
That's right. Well, we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
If I were to do these boots, I would use the saddle soap and I would clean them and I'd come back the next day after they were dry and I would condition them.
Yeah.
And then I would let that dry and then I'd come back and add color.
Exactly.
And so this is like a 2-3 day job.
Yeah.
Right? It can, a couple hours, several hours.
If you're doing it like I was doing in the old store, is like I would focus on one, and then once I got to a point, like say, hey, this was conditioning, and I kind of wanted the conditioner to really soak in for a little bit, and I'd lather it properly. I'd get both of them to that same point. I'd put them in the cabinet below so nobody touched them or messed with them or anything like that. And then I would start on another boot, go help some customers or something like that, and then come back to it later on. And I would always have these timers, and it would, my timer would be red boot, 30 minutes, black boot, 10 minutes, whatever. But I'd like to see this get to kind of in between tone on these two before I started actually polishing it or conditioning it.
Right. And I understand that. And it's hard to do on, a video.
A time-based kind of thing.
We
did Martha Stewart this. We're like, and this is the finished product.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll save this for a separate video, and I will go through these and do all of the steps, and we'll take 3 days, and you can see exactly how this is done. Justin's going to show us how to do these today, and hopefully we can get through them.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Maybe we can talk about some Roughouts too.
We can definitely do that. We brought something with me today. Some messed up ones and some before and afters and stuff like that. But conditioning it, you kind of want it to be back to a kind of in between this color and that color, especially with the wax tan. You don't want to use a whole lot of conditioner when it's already still wet. Now, for this, it's not going to be a big deal, especially what he's doing out of it. But you want to have kind of a clear canvas to work with. So, go ahead.
Well, something I notice about these boots right off the bat, they look dry from the start.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's just that wax tan base is all it is, and it kind of has a rustic look to it in the beginning. But the more you wear it, in my opinion, the better this one looks. And how long have you had these already?
I've had those for about 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks, and he's already got scratch marks on them and stuff like that. These are.
Oh, that was cut right there.
Yeah, it's cut right there. It's cut right here. I think I saw one.
What are you doing, bro?
That's briar patch when you're hunting.
But this is bull shoulder. This is what you need to be doing that kind of stuff out of. I had a kid bring me a pair of full quill ostriches one time to kind of clean up, and he had dove hunted in them, and I mean black dirt just caked up on this guy.
Well,
and
that goes back to why I said I need something that's going to be able to take that abuse.
Yeah.
Because I'm not nice to my stuff.
And that is the big difference between us and a lot of the other brands is, it is a Saturday night boot, not a Friday, or not a, they don't picture you clunking through the mud, hog hunting, dragging, deer carcass out of the woods in these guys. And
he's done that in these. I guarantee.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Like I said, I've told you this many times before, Joe. I do not own a pair of work boots and dress boots. I own boots. This is a big arguing point between me and him.
Well,
and Joe.
What's cool about this is the material that Twisted X and all those other companies are making their steel toes out of.
That's the do-all boot.
But at the same time, it's a good-looking boot.
Exactly.
If you dolled this guy up, my brother is the best example of this. My brother has the Havana Nubucks, our one of our best sellers.
I love that boot. It's fantastic.
Awesome boot. He's a full-time ranch manager. And so hog blood, deer blood, liquid feed.
And it's a really light color.
It is a very light color. And there's a lot of tricks to the trade on that and on these. One of the biggest tools that I use on really any and all boots, especially when I'm cleaning, is baby powder. I
Really?
put baby
Okay.
powder.
Inside.
Yeah, inside and outside.
Okay.
So inside for me as a cleaner. So what I would do as a cleaner and I keep these with me like lighters, knives, baby powder is like, if you're cleaning boots for a living, that's like the top 3 tools you need. And like you can get away with a lot of like water and soap and to just kind of like, oh crap, last minute, I need to clean these in a gas station parking lot because I'm on the way to this wedding.
Right.
And I don't have anything to me.
That's Conor.
Yeah. I've done it before. I'm the king of last minute prep and make it look right kind of guy. But if I'm the person, I don't know you, I don't know what's on your foot, if something's growing on your foot, the first thing that I do is literally to just kind of puff a little bit in there and kind of move it around a little bit and let it sit. And then I'm actually going to a lot of the time when I'm cleaning boots, my hand is fully submerged in the boot and it's a lot of just that motion. But I had customers that would come in that were wearing the boots and had been wearing the boots all day. And so the boots were moist. And it's like, I don't really want to put my hand in here. But doing that little spritz right there, you're going to have baby powder on your hands. But for one, it's going to help you in the long run, too, because baby powder in the boot helps.
Well, I use, generally when I am doing boots, they're my boots. I don't normally do stuff for other people. But I still use rubber gloves just because when I use color, I like to get it on there with my hand. Yeah. And your fingernails are going to be black, red, or whatever color it is. Yes, Conor?
Can I have a little sidebar here? When he picked these boots up from me today, he didn't want to carry them.
No, I was busy.
Set those things down.
I was busy. I was talking.
But I did the exact.
Stop derailing my video.
I took the boots off and handed them to him.
I will say something kind of gross, but at the same time, the entire time you watch me do this, you'll watch me clean this counter as I go because I don't want to add whatever's on whatever I'm taking off. I don't want it back on, kind of thing. So you'll see me wipe down the counter every now and then, create a clean surface. But I've had gross boots before, and what's really gross is
you brought some gross boots here.
Oh yeah, I brought some really nasty boots here. We won't do those just because out of respect of your countertop. But
appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. But it's a lot of the times the counter that I clean them on in the store is the counter I eat off of too. But I put as much cleaning into these boots as I do that countertop too, so I can make sure that countertop is something I can eat off of.
All right.
But it's little tricks of the trade like that. You can already see this
counter's already almost dry.
Yeah, you can see that spur gun. And little tidbit when you're worried about polishing and things like that, if you're scared of what the polish it's going to do to the boot, try it on the counter before you try it on the vamp.
So while this dries, let's look at some of the other boots you brought and talk about maybe a Roughout. How do you clean different things?
So Roughout, I'm just going to put these down on the floor for now.
Yeah, no problem.
Go through. But I actually have a before and after on a Roughout. This was a customer's boot, and he left them with us and just kind of never came back for them, but he just bought another pair. But just to kind of explain what you can do to these guys, because a lot of people are scared of this boot. I want to make sure I can kind of get it in this camera above as well, and this one to the side. But
push it on out just a little bit more. There you go.
What happens a lot of the time with these boots is people will walk in and think it's suede. And like suede has a reputation of you can't get it wet, you can't get it muddy, you can't do this because it'll just ruin it, it'll mat it down.
And a lot of the suede's pig suede, right?
Yeah, pig suede. And there is a pig suede product out there that is a really good product. It's 3M coated, so it has a chemical inside of it that actually makes it more durable. A lot of the times the pig suedes aren't that durable. They'll rip kind of like duct tape.
Right.
But if it's that 3M pig suede, it's awesome. It's a really good product. But this is a perfect example of what you can do to these boots, and they just keep on trucking. This kid was just a regular rancher kid, and just he had a little blowout on his seams there. Yeah. That's actually something we could have fixed. But
really?
Yeah, I guess he was not in town or whatever like that. I don't know where he's from, but he just left them with us and didn't leave a contact or anything like that. So he brought the exact same pair of boots, left these on our showroom floor, and almost. I didn't want to throw them away in case he ever does come back wanting them again. But at the same time, I use them for an example in the store all the time. You'll see this in some of our competitors. The Roughout will mat down, and you can kind of, if you want to come in close on this camera, it looks like it's ruined all right here. It is caked over and just pushed into this boot itself, and it's just not looking like it's ever going to come back again. But with the correct procedures and the correct cleaning process, it will come back to a full fluff. Yeah. And it'll be that kind of coarse skin again.
Well, I beat my toes on a regular basis. So these will get matted down right here, or slick, really.
Yeah.
And I'll hit them with a wire brush or the crepe rubber brush, and it'll pop right back up, and it looks like brand new.
The only reason I prefer the wire brushes over the crepe brushes is because of how much I'm doing.
Right.
So the rubber brushes will rip and tear, but if you're just taking care of your own product, it's not that big of a deal because you're not cleaning like 6 boots a day. So that's why I always go for this little Harbor Freight deal. It's an awesome, it's like $3. Since I've been cleaning boots, I used to buy these in packs of 5, and there's 6 brushes in each. So that tells you how fast I'm going through these. And as soon as the needles start coming out, that's when I throw them away. Yeah. But no, it's very doable to bring these back. Just make sure that it is an actual rough out and not a suede. If you take one of those metal brushes to a suede boot, done. Yeah, it's done. And then just kind of give you an idea. Like I've got a little bitty scuff mark on my personal ones here. And I can tell it's something, and you can see as I'm doing that, it's starting to come up. And I'll even use the plastic suede brush that I brought with me. Oh, probably should. That one's wet. Yeah, I probably should use the wet one, but it'll dry fast. But it automatically, you can't see. Let's do this real quick.
I got one over here.
You got a middle one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got a.
What do you got?
I got a.
Oh yeah. That'll work perfect.
So this is a suede brush. It's brass and plastic bristle.
And another reason that you want to use plastic bristle and metal bristle and stuff like that, and having a variety of brushes, is if you have a variety of colors.
Yes.
Like if you're when you're polishing your boots, you don't want to use like, say I have a light tone.
There you go, right here. Yeah. So I got them labeled. This one's black. I gave you the black one for your light colored boots. But yes, so I've got one for green, one for brown, and one for black, because that's the color roughouts we have.
Especially on, but like high gloss, like or a slick skin boot. If you accidentally use your black polished boot on, let's say, the Lucchese Priscilla, which is the white Lucchese Priscilla, it can ruin that boot. Yeah, it really could. Well,
we've got different brushes here, and I've got them. I got them labeled because exactly that. You have. I don't really use a brush for colors, but if you use something like this on maybe a red alligator, that red's going to come off a little bit, and it's going to contaminate your brush. So you need different brushes for different boots.
Exactly. But the big thing on the colors is the stitching, especially on boots. Because there's no pulling it out of that stitching. Right. I have never been able to, if I've made the mistake before to accidentally use a black brush, like just not paying attention, reached down and grabbed it and started cleaning it, and then I see that it's the wrong brush, I can definitely get it out of that leather, but I'll never be able to get it out of that thread. So there's no way. So
on the shafts, and let me tell you what I do. This is what I use. This is Saphir Cream Universal. And basically what it is, the liquid form of their Renovateur. Mm-hmm. It's a lot cheaper. And this is all I use, either this or the Cali Leather Life for the shafts.
Yeah.
And I don't do any cleaning, maybe once every 6 months to 8 months.
On the shafts.
I will use one of these two products on the shaft. And that's it.
I think this would still be a great product for the vamps on these, on this bull shoulder.
Well, we got that, and we got the oil leather Saphir. So whatever you want to use, we can try this. This is a fantastic product. Lee Miller, I saw Lee Miller using this, and if you guys don't know, Lee Miller is just an icon in boot making. Yeah. And if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
There you go. There you go.
And I've got everything from Black Rock to Bic 4. I don't like Bic 4. It's not. It's one of those. You find it on an aisle of every boot store, Western store. It's at the checkout.
I want to say I've seen it in Dollar General.
Yeah, I mean, it's bare minimum, right?
Yeah.
And if you're spending $400 on a pair of boots, why are you spending bare minimum on things to take care of it?
And and a lot of it, like it's kind of like the metal brushes. Like the number one product I've used. I used to use Lucchese products on everything when I was at Lucchese, but they would sell you a spray bottle that was about half this size, and it was conditioner and cleaner in one bottle. But like I said, it was about half that size, and I'm cleaning 10, 12 boots a day.
Yeah.
I'm going through 4 to 5 of those bottles in a day.
Oh yeah.
So I had to start sourcing other products, and it had to be cost effective.
Well,
how much is that bottle?
This is $32, but it's a big bottle. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, this is 2 years old.
Yeah.
At this time.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And how many boots are in your rotation, you think?
15 maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's perfect. I think we talked about it on the podcast. Leather CPR.
Yes,
that purple
we did.
bottle. It is a Dollar General product as well, and it's one of those ads seen on TVs. But when I was cleaning, on a Friday or a Saturday, I could easily clean 20 boots.
Yeah.
And if I'm going through bottle after bottle, and each one of those bottles was a minimum of like $18. So I've not tried that product, and we will test it out. But I've legitimately bought boots for $80 that are 30 years old on eBay, and put this on there, and it's a night and day difference. I mean, it's gone from a ruined pair of boots to something that's really supple and soft. And if you're a vintage collector and you're buying other boots, you want to find a good conditioner like that, because like we talked about earlier with the boot trees, you want to find something that's going to rejuvenate and relife that boot. That's awesome.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know, it's really cost effective to get into the vintage boot market. You can get a fantastic pair of boots for very little money that you are not going to find that kind of craftsmanship these days. They just don't make them like that.
They really don't. And actually, there's a lot of better products in the Goodwills and the vintage places and stuff like that are built in a better way than some of the boots that are coming off the shelf. Like your grandpa's boots were built way more sturdy and durable and longer lasting than some of the products that are coming off the shelves now.
Absolutely.
And you can go to Goodwill. And so I've been cleaning boots since I was a little kid. I had a shine box that was about half that size. It didn't look that organized. I can tell you that right now.
My wife did that.
Yeah. And I didn't have micro. It was before microfiber towels. I'm sure there was microfiber towels, but we dang sure weren't using them for boot shining. We had just a bunch of dirty socks. And so
I use old t-shirts.
I've seen old t-shirts too.
I got them up.
But I had it was my dad's box. It was never really my box. I have no idea where it's at now. But it's I've been doing this for a very, very long time. But if you want to get into this, there's a lot of cool guys on TikTok that I follow that shine boots, and it's just
the
about
Potter and Son.
Yeah,
you seen those guys?
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are cobblers.
But
they do boot shining. Actually, they started boot shining. They were doing boot shining in Nashville. And then they opened that cobbler shop. So there's money in it. They made a fortune just shining boots.
And it's one of those things you can actually practice on a very well made product and not spend a lot of money on. So on my end, this is easy to practice and to kind of understand by doing the Goodwill boots. On your end, there's no way on trying to learn how to shape a 1000X hat unless you're doing it on 10Xs, and 10Xs don't shape like 1000Xs do, and you've got that learning curve of how do I do it on this one. And I get nervous. I would get nervous if somebody walked in. If I've never shined a boot before and they walked in, let's say the Lucchese Baron, $16,000 boot, $16,999, $17,000 boot. Somebody walked in and was like, "I need you to polish this boot up for me." I'm not going to touch that unless I'm confident behind it.
I got no problem.
Yeah,
give it to me.
Me? Yeah, I'm fine.
Not my boot.
I remember having to clean it on the shelf because it would just stay there because we had one. So we would take it down every now and then to kind of because even if it's in storage, even if it's sitting on a shelf, you still need to condition it. It's just like your skin; it will dry out. So it's something that was a part of the job with that Baron was maintaining it. So we'd clean it about once a month. But it's a $17,000 boot. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love Lucchese's. We talked about this on the podcast. Lucchese's are a great made boot. They're more of a dress boot. You're not going to see them out there on a ranch.
Now I've got some dress boots. We got some cool colors, but they are kind of known for the dress boot. Yeah.
Well, I mean, these are looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, the tone's almost like exactly the same where it needs to.
And actually, these are clean, man.
Yeah.
If you look at them compared, they're clean.
If you could have seen, I should have brought another one of these just to compare them.
Yeah.
But this looks like it.
Well,
but minus the cut marks on it and the sole and the heel and stuff, this looks like it's right off the shelf.
So I've got video that we took while we were doing the podcast at Fenoglio in the stockyards. I can roll that in here, and you guys can see what these looked like when Conor first picked them up.
And that's another thing. When certain materials like this, you don't always have to polish it. Sometimes it just needs to be cleaned, and sometimes, we can condition this one and it's going to darken it, and then, this time tomorrow it'll be back to this tone again.
Yeah.
But
that's a great point, because this particular conditioner is it will darken a boot really heavily.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me because it does come back.
Yep.
A lot of people get scared. They
Yes.
put it on there and they freak out and they run away, right? And they just don't do it.
So prime example, Havana Nubuck.
Yeah.
We had one of our repeat customers. He put a conditioner on it, and he liked the khaki color of the boot, and he was trying to maintain it, which is fine. That's what that's what you're supposed to do. But he panicked, and he was like, I ruined these boots. I don't know what to do. And re-enter Johnson & Johnson.
Really?
Yeah. I called.
Pulled it out?
He called me, and he was like, "Hey, what do I need to do?" I said, "Grab a non-medical baby powder, so no Arm & Hammer, nothing like that." I said, "Just coat that entire boot in that baby powder.
Straight talc."
Yeah. Just let it sit. And then, maybe 2 days, a day and a half, whatever you want to do it. And you can go as you go. Like, say he was in a hurry, put it on there for half a day and then knock it off, and then just kind of, as you saw me do it with my hands earlier, just knocking the baby powder off my hands, or a light brush, just knock it off. If it's not to the tone that you like yet, hit it again. It'll pull that moisture out.
Well, let's talk about brushes real quick, because they're like Potter and Son right there.
Yeah.
So these are great brushes. These are horsehair brushes, and if you got boots, you should really have one of these.
Yes.
For cleaning, even if you're not conditioning, it knock the dust off of them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
But be careful. As much as I was doing it and I wasn't rotating my brushes, I would trim mine to an extent, because what you'll end up doing is building a cake up of wax.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna get to the point where it's not gonna clean properly or efficiently. So what I would do was actually trim my edges and then slightly run a lighter over it, just to kind of create that crisp top again.
Mm-hmm.
Not crazy. You don't want to burn it where it curls up or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you want it to have a soft feeling. This is actually a horsehair brush. So if you've ever owned horses and you've ran it across the mane where you should trim behind right behind the bridle sits, it should kind of have that similar feeling to it. But
so if you don't have one, grab one. I like the big ones just because if you're polishing, a full boot, you can get that polish come up really quick.
I like all sizes.
I do too. I carry.
Yeah. It's like screwdrivers. Like,
Gotta have
I want
one.
the big one and I want the little one you can do your sunglasses on, because you get in them crevices and stuff like that. And I one of my favorite brushes, but it would be a horsehair brush, would be that size, so I could really get into those tight spots.
There you go.
Yeah, Cowcraft likes to get in that corner right there and never come back out.
I usually use something a little smaller, something like that,
perfect.
or a toothbrush. Toothbrushes work great for the welt line. I love these for welt lines.
Yeah.
Grab your wife's toothbrush.
Hell no.
We're doing a video here, lady.
I got a question.
All right. We'll take a break real quick and answer some of your questions.
What brand of boots are the blue shaft one?
These are Fenoglios. Yeah.
Justin's with Fenoglio. Fenoglio's here taking care of Conor's boots that we got him a couple weeks ago. He has already tried to destroy them, and Fenoglio's here taking care of them. These are Conor's other pair of Anderson beans that he has really destroyed, and we're going to do a full video. We're going to do a full video on these two, just how to kind of bring these back and put some life back into these.
They're not that bad. Those are they're not even a year old.
Let's talk about tanning process real quick, because we've got two different things here. This is a veg tan, this is an oil tan.
Yeah.
And if you go into a boot store and you smell that boot store smell, right, that leather smell that everybody knows, that's oil tan, right? That's all of the chemicals that they use to tan leather.
Yeah.
While a veg tan isn't going to have as much
It's
off
something,
gassing and smell.
the top would still kind of have a veg tan
Right.
or an oil tan to it
Right.
at the time.
Well, I mean, if you're using,
Yeah.
if you have a veg tan
yeah, exactly.
combination,
exactly.
it's not.
Yeah.
But
And it still has an aroma, but like you said, it's not a very strong one.
Right,
no.
right.
Yeah.
so there are differences to the leather.
Right.
This is my personal favorite. I like a veg tan. I
Mhm.
I don't think I have any pair of oil tan anymore.
Ghosts.
Ghosts. But a good way to tell, it's a pull up, right? So
Yeah.
if you pull from
you-
the inside, and this one doesn't have a lot, but you can normally see the
Let's
oil
see.
displace.
Yeah. You can kind of see it on that one a little bit. It'll change colors in a way.
It'll change color, or even if you pinch it, right?
Yeah.
So, you can pinch it and you can see, but then you can rub it and it'll go
Yeah.
right back.
Oh, you can scratch, so
but-
you can see with that hand.
It's impregnated with oil, and it kind of stays in there for life. And if it moves, it'll move around in that leather, and you kind of have to put it back.
And you can see, with the oils in my hand that I rubbed on that
Oh, yeah,
that toe
look at
right there, the darkness that it automatically starts coming back.
Yeah, that's just oil from his hand.
Just the oil from my hand. But watch this, when I scratch it with my, that might ruin the boot right there in some people's eyes. But with the oils in my hand,
And yeah, absolutely, right there.
yeah,
So that's kind of the difference, and you won't get that with a veg tan over here.
yeah.
So if you did
Yeah.
the scratch on this, it's done. You're going to have to add color.
Exactly. And that's why I like ostrich, because ostrich doesn't scratch as easily.
Really,
Yeah, and like smooth ostrich.
I've heard these are really tough boots.
Yeah, they really are.
For as thin as they are, and they're really thin.
And the veg tan is part of that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the veg tan, it doesn't allow you to kind of scrape like I just did on that oil tan.
Mhm.
But that's one of the, our smooth ostrich is one of our best sellers, because I'll show people like, hey, if you're not really going to take care of these boots like you should, I'll go over there and scratch one of these guys, and I'm like, hey, it's a scuff mark. But hey, if you want to do one that you don't have to worry about scratches and scuffs, do this smooth ostrich.
Just a little bit. All right, Justin. So we've got Conor's first boot, his right boot, kind of cleaned up, and we were busy doing a TikTok live, so we've got a little bit of grain back in this one.
Yeah.
But
And that's purely from the hand.
that's purely from rubbing on it, and you're working on his left boot now. We're cleaning that up, and then we're going to condition this boot. As a matter of fact, though, this kind of already looks similar to how it was when he got it.
Yeah.
It had this grain in it, and I made a comment that it really looked like
It was done.
hippo.
Oh, yeah. Hippo or elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. It really, really does. And I actually personally designed this boot. I don't know if I've told you that or
Yeah, I think we talked about that on the podcast.
not. And the reason I did was it is bull shoulder, but if you wanted a boot that looked like elephant for bull shoulder pricing, this is it.
I'm kind of curious, Conor. Do you want to put conditioner on this boot? We're conditioning this, right?
We can if you want to.
What difference is it going to make?
It's going to make it a little bit darker for a few days.
It is, and I'm curious to see what it's going to look like after
Yeah.
that. And I think we ought to use the Cali leather line.
Yeah.
And see how
Yeah.
that works.
I agree. Oh, wait, which one?
Yeah, this
that
one.
one,
Let's,
okay.
let's use this one.
Unfortunately, they're going to get torn up again because of who I am as a person.
You hadn't really torn anything up yet. You just got them dirty.
Yes.
But he didn't know how to clean them, so now you do.
I do, but the question is, will I?
No, you will not.
The person who gets upset that I don't clean my boots.
Hey, I don't care what you do to the boots, as long as you enjoy them, right? And they fit and they're comfortable. And as long as you have something to use when we go to an event.
So when we go to an event, what I'm hearing is I need to come drop them off the day before.
And not to me. You better take them to Justin, 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can
cleaning
come
your
see me,
boots,
bud.
bro.
You can come
What
see me.
free time? He closes before I get off.
You just call me. I got a bar and a TV, man. If I need to stay after a little bit, I can.
Don't give me that power.
So you use gloves for this, don't you?
No, not for
Oh,
this.
Okay.
I only use gloves for color. This is not corrosive. I think the saddle soap is corrosive, but you're okay.
Yeah.
You're probably okay.
Nah. And if that's gonna do me in, then we got other problems.
So this actually smells like lotion. You could probably get away with using this on your hands anyway. It smells really good.
Oh wow, it does.
Yeah,
It does.
I know.
when I was cowboying, I had the calluses built up and all that stuff, and just rough and tough and all that stuff. But when I started cleaning boots every day, that was probably the softest my hands have ever been.
So they did darken up a lot.
A lot.
Like compare it to this one that's just wet.
Yeah.
So,
but it doesn't look bad.
No, and
really
it's pretty shiny actually.
Yeah. And once this is kind of set in, you're going to see a difference in it. I can already tell.
Well, I like this because all it is a conditioner, cleaner. The Saphir, it's got a little bit of wax in it, and I don't think Conor needs wax for these boots.
No, it would make it a higher gloss.
Yeah.
For the matte color, he's kind of safe with. With the gloss color, that's something you kind of have to maintain.
A good point, though. This stuff is a really good cleaner. So on his heel block, I noticed there's some black there. He might take that off, actually.
Yeah.
And I can probably get you a rag if we need a rag or paper towel.
Yeah, paper towel right here.
Fantastic cleaner. We are not sponsored by these guys. I paid for this. They didn't give it to me. It's just a great product. I would love to carry it on our website, actually.
Which website?
CowboyCartelGroup.com. I'm doing a real video here.
Any other questions?
Yes. What's recommended to clean ostrich boots?
Pretty much everything we've used so far. You clean with a leather cleaner. Then I always condition after. I've done both, condition before and after polish.
Okay, so for me, this is saddle soap, and this is for really heavy stains like water stains and oil stains and something that's deep in the leather. This is not something you use every time you clean. This is the most fantastic cleaner conditioner. It will strip wax off. If you have wax on your boot, you put this on there a little heavier and let it sit for 5 minutes, come back and wipe it off with a paper towel, and it strips all of the wax off. It's just, I don't know what's in it. I wish I did because I'd be making it myself. It's just, it's Cali Leather Life. It's made out of Louisiana. Kind of probably a mom and pop shop because you can't find it really anywhere. Lee Miller, what's his shop's name? Do you know?
No, off the top of my head, no.
So Lee Miller is a legendary boot maker, last maker in Austin, Texas. Texas Tradition, I believe.
Yep.
Texas Tradition. Some of the highest priced boots, some of the best fitting boots, according to most people, you'll ever have. But they're ridiculously priced, right? They start at $3,000, I think. He uses this on his reconditioning of old boots that he kind of brings back in. And I saw that he was using this, and I thought, all right, I'll give it a try. Because I try everything, right? I want to try everything. And I've been using this for 2 years because it's that good.
I got baby powder on my hands.
No problem.
And if you wanted, so Conor, same thing. If you didn't like that in 2 days and it's still that color, douse that in baby powder, man. It'll bring that tone back out a little bit. Give it a little more.
Add a little.
Yeah.
Are we still rolling? Everything's good?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll probably block this camera. Like
That's
a
okay.
lot.
That's all right. That's why we have 3 cameras.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got one conditioned, one cleaned, and we'll go ahead and condition this one a little bit later.
Yeah.
But you can see this is really dark right now. But what's going to happen over the next day or two is it's going to soak in.
What's today? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
So we'll see what it looks like on Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So check us out on our podcast. This might not be out before that, but you can always go back and check it out.
The ones watching on TikTok Live can see it.
Absolutely, you guys can. But we'll show these boots. Conor will have a chance to wear these all week, or the rest of the week anyway.
Yeah.
And
you can see it's starting to light. So
a little bit, yeah.
This spot and this spot has retention on it constantly. Your toe box and your spur counter always have retention on it.
Because there's what do you call that underneath there?
The actual toe box.
Toe box.
Yeah, toe box is what it's a form, and every boot company
This one goes all the way back to here.
Yeah.
This is very big.
We on our 5-toe, ours is pretty deep. It's almost similar to like a steel toe frame because of the structure of it.
And there's a big piece of veg tan in the back, right?
It's the same material as the front and back. So
Okay.
yeah. But this one is, when you have that on there, it kind of retains a little bit. So you have sometimes a different look. Something, I gotta get all this baby powder off my hands. But you can kind of see the difference in between the two there, where you can already see the wrinkles kind of appearing again. And it's because that has the tension on it, and it's absorbing it differently.
Let's talk about that heel block real quick, because Conor has messed up that heel block.
You just have a little black spot.
Little black spot. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's rough, right? So normally I would also polish and color a heel block myself personally.
Yeah.
What about you?
Same thing. Yeah. No, I would rub I would do the cleaner, conditioner, all that, and then I would put a high gloss on this, and I would just use a clear base, or you can.
Yeah, you want to use color or you want to use clear?
Clear. I always, like I said, I was clear until I need it, because just out of fear of me changing the tone of it.
Okay. Let's see what I got here. Renovateur is fantastic. It's a conditioner with wax in it.
Okay.
Great stuff. I like it. If I want polish, but I don't want to add color, I'll use this stuff. It doesn't smell great.
That's not bad. It smells like something out of your grandma's medicine cabinet. You're not sure what she has it for, but it's there.
There you go.
Immediately a high gloss.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think it's probably $15-20 a little jar. This is actually a big jar. So the littler jars are like $15-20.
When I buy clear, I buy it in the biggest jar possible.
Yeah.
I buy all my other colors in the small jars, but I will buy it clear in the biggest jar possible because I use it more than anything. Yeah.
So I just use this to fill that.
Oh, really?
It fits in my little box bag.
Yeah. You got a big box? You got a big box to supply your little box?
Nope, this is all I got.
So do you have a clear? Well, hell, I got a clear brush. I don't want to ruin your brushes.
No, that's good. This is what I would normally use after it's dry. You use before? And the reason why is because a lot of the times I was on a clock. Okay.
I had the guy sitting across the counter from me waiting. So yeah.
So what I generally do, and this is something kind of personal preference, right?
Yeah.
If you have to have it ready right away, you can hit it, but I'll just let it sit for a day. I'll come back and hit it tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
If I'm doing boots in the afternoon, I'll put them down. I'll go do the rest of the things that I have to do that day. Next morning, I'll hit it with a brush.
That's the difference between people that take care of their own and people that take it to the shiner.
Yeah, true enough. I never thought about using a brush on this after.
I'm just kind of
conditioning.
I'm just kind of making it a little bit lighter.
I never thought about that, but I see what it's doing, and I like it.
It's just kind of bringing that tone back a little bit, and kind of. Now keep in mind, because of that toe box, it's going to be darker there longer.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see as I go the wrinkles. And I say wrinkles as a positive term. A lot of people get scared of wrinkles.
It's our pattern.
Yeah.
That's natural pattern of the leather, right?
Yeah. Look at that. That looks great.
Yeah, it does look good. Conor didn't ruin them after all.
No.
Yet.
I don't know if he can.
Challenge accepted.
You got to clean them next time, bro.
No, you already volunteered.
No, I didn't. I volunteered Justin.
I'm not scared of it, but yeah, you can see the difference between that toe box and I still got baby powder on my hands.
I don't have a rag.
That's why I wore this shirt. It was because I was like, I usually wear an apron when I'm doing this, and that was the cool thing when I was at Lucchese was I had an apron that said Lucchese on it. But no, I wore this shirt because I know I could replace it easy.
Tell James to get you one that says Fenoglio.
I've got one,
Yeah?
but it's got the Diamond F in it, and then we've got a bunch of them in the warehouse. But I wanted the denim one.
Oh,
He
okay,
had all
okay.
these blacks and whites, and he had like I think he had a blue one, but I wanted the denim one, so I'm gonna have one made.
Well, all right. Connor's mom does embroidery.
Oh yeah,
So
we got our ball cap machine that we
that's
and also I have probably
Right.
about 30.
Okay. I just told a bootmaker that Connor's mom does embroidery, and they embroider all of this stuff. So you got the tools to do it, right?
I got enough embroidery machines to fill this entire room.
We've seen them.
Yeah.
And if you haven't checked it out, go check out our video we did at Fenoglio's factory.
Yeah.
So we did a tour of the factory. It's really cool. We hope to go back and do another tour.
Yeah.
And maybe do some boots while we're there.
Can do. Definitely can do.
Justin, I really appreciate you coming in and taking care of Connor's boots. Fantastic service, man.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And these guys, if they buy a pair of Fenoglios, they can come in and get this service at the store.
Can do as long as I'm there. I've got some new hires that we're kind of teaching some of this stuff to. They're not the most educated on it, but they're willing to learn. So if I'm not there, which I normally am there, but if I'm not there, just leave it, and they'll put what we call a dog tag on it, a little piece of paper, and gives your name, information, and if I have any questions, I'll give you a shout. And when they're ready, they'll be you can come pick them up. If I'm there, usually I do them while you wait, and we've got a fully stocked bar and a TV that usually has some kind of rodeo or sports on it, so you got plenty of time to hang around and wait. And if you don't want to wait too long, bring a second pair. You can walk over to the American Hat Store and check those guys out as well.
Or buy a pair while you're there.
Yeah, that was my technique at Lucchese. If I can get them out of one pair, I can probably get them in another one.
All right. So this is Fenoglio store in the Fort Worth Stockyards,
Yep.
right next door to the Best Hat Store.
Yes, sir. We're 2709 North Main, Fort Worth, Texas.
Phone number?
Don't ask me that. I'm not.
That's all right.
It's on the card.
We'll put it right here.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching this. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah. Thank you for having me again.
All right, no problem.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys.
Later.